Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to our annual Student Award ceremony. I'm very excited to be part of this prestigious virtual award ceremony. My name is Sharice Hundeli. I'm coordinator of the Student Affairs and Marketing at the University of Aruba, and I'm honored to invite you to this celebration.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
On behalf of the organizers, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you, to the deans, lecturers, students, our business community, and most of all to our guests who are here to honor the nominees of the various study programs. My name is John Wardlow. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Hospitality and Tourism Management Studies, and I am honored to be your MC today. Every year, the UA honors outstanding students as Student Thesis and Student Ambassador Award ceremony. The in-person event that would normally happen was cancelled because of COVID. So now we're going through a virtual experience of having a virtual student award. The Student Ambassador Award is awarded to the all-rounded student who has outstanding academic results, extraordinary talent or achievements, and can show personal accomplishments and contributions to the community. Above all, they should have the potential to serve as a role model, not only to the UA community, but to the Aruban community in general. When the finalists today, we have young, successful entrepreneurs who are part of our Aruban and global community. All the finalists being here were selected during the strict tentative rounds grounded on a range of all-round evaluations. Regardless of their majors or spheres of interest, these individuals have something essential in common. They are hard-working achievers. They serve our local community, and thus they are truly role models for the young generation, both in and outside of the Aruban UA community. And I have the honor of congratulating all the winners of the Student Award. On behalf of the Rector and the Board of Trustees, congratulations to all our participants and to the eventual winners. So at this point, without further ado, I would like to invite the following students to the stage to receive their award. And at this particular moment in time, I would like to call Sharice to help me introduce the Student Ambassador group from the societies in the university.
Yes, thank you so much, John. First, I'd like to call forward, we would like to call a representative of MAJEC. The president of 2019 to 2020 was Dana Wong. She's now furthering her studies in the Netherlands. And the representative from MAJEC, you can come forward. Aruba, MAJEC is a nonprofit organization that strives toward a greener Aruba. This group is open to all who wish to help create a greener environment. We recognize our student organization because they form an important backbone of our community. Who do we have next?
I'm just going to say a short mention about the Circle K, CKI. Kiwani Circle K of the University of Aruba is a service organization formed to help the community through various service projects. It is part of the international organization led by Kiwanis International and sponsored by the local Kiwanis group.
Next, we have our Studentenraad, our Student Council. President 2019-2020 is Mr. Juan Kelly. De Studentenraad van de Universiteit van Aruba, SUA, was founded in 2013 with the main focus of advocating, representing students, and planning activities that encourage participation of all students across the different faculties of the University of Aruba. We thank you, and we would like to ask you to thank also Dana Wong and also Eileen Telting, unfortunately, from the Service Club. She is stuck in Suriname right now and could not be here with us. So, our students' organization, very important for the university, John.
Student organizations are an essential part of the university. If there is new student life in the university, there is no university. So it's essential that the students get involved not only within their program, within their faculty, but in the university in general. And the signs of the representative here show something very special about the individuals when they get involved in the community service of the university. As I said, it's the students who are the backbone of this university. This university is student-centered. And for the students then to give back to the university is something very special about the university, but more importantly, about the individuals who are standing on the stage today. And they are representing many other students. So yes, they may be the captain of the team picking up the trophy, but there's a whole team behind them. And that team is essential for the success of the university in general. So most surely, students are essential to the backbone of this institution.
Thank you very much. As they receive their award, a warm applause for them, please.
Having gone from the institutional groups within the University of Aruba, we're now going to turn our attention to the individual projects. So we will start with the law.
Faculty of Law nominated Rafiq Din Mohammed. We ask you to come forward. Rafiq is a dedicated father, hard worker, and willing to work hard to reach his personal and professional goals. Although he has lots of responsibilities at his current job, Aruba Police Force, KPA, he still takes time out to help students where needed. Handling a full-time job and his studies at the same time requires a good level of planning, dedication, and sacrifice. The Faculty of Law wants to thank Rafiq for the incredible efforts he has been pouring into both his studies, his study buddies, and helping with UA-related activities. Thank you very much.
Ma worden nominado para Student Ambassador Award. Met estudiante na faculdade de lei, met ding de 2 anos. Dan fica mais hopi mes para mim, me saco met doen een hopi die me mes ding estúdio aqui, em outra fase, met casar, met tata, de interesse e met full-time job. Pensei também na primeira instante me que agradeci me casar e me juna para apoio e sustento durante o estudo aqui. Me que também doen palavra chiquita na tua não, que o síndico não tinha capacidade para estudar, para fazer passo mais para fazer. É uma experiência hobby bonita na Universidade de Aruba, tem docente não que o hobby capável e profissional para guiar. Dus nós sinta guarda, toma a chance de inscrever-nos na Universidade de Aruba.
John, OGM, we have Jason Ruiz.
Yes, it's my pleasure to call Jason Ruiz to the stage, who also happens to be a father. Jason is currently a Bachelor 2 student at OGM. Since the beginning, Jason has shown his dedication and willpower as a husband and a father of a son. Jason already showed that where there is a will, there is a way. Today, with an extended family, he is as committed and dedicated to fulfilling all his roles in his life. Despite his hectic life, Jason has always been willing to participate in additional activities, promoting our program with pride. So that's Jason from OGM Bachelor 2.
All right, we will continue with the Faculty of Hospitality, Tourism, and Management Studied, Amanda Cruz. Come forward, Amanda. In a year of COVID, where contact between staff and students was essential, Amanda, in her role as junior, then senior representative, was a tremendous help to both staff and students. Amanda has grown to love the faculty and the university, and as such is always willing to help out whenever possible. She has been the face and the voice of the faculty. She's helped the Office of Student Affairs and the Marketing Department with various projects, and we thank her. Her work with Leche Pro Mama, the research that she is doing, is an example of her community service and community-minded behavior. She's always willing to help out and serve that anyone that would need help. And she always has that fantastic smile. Thank you, Amanda.
I would like to thank the faculty for this honor and recognition. It is a reinforcement of the goal that I set a year ago about getting out of my comfort zone and exploring new activities. And because a year ago I could not stand in front of this camera and talk to you guys, but it is definitely a push to continue to get more out of my comfort zone, get a little bit more out of my shell, and yes, thank you very much for this award.
At this point, I would like to call Armand Kelly to the stage. Armand has done an excellent job as ambassador for the system program, both inside and outside the university, during the promotion and information activities. Apart from that, Armand has been structurally involved in several sustainable related activities outside of the University of Aruba. And also as a father, Armand has demonstrated that he will not only talk about the future of his children, but he also works towards a sustainable future for his children.
At System, we are dedicated to creating new leaders for sustainability for the future. Today, we are happy to announce that Armand Kelly has been nominated as Student Ambassador for System, as he does exactly that. He is a leader for sustainability for the future, and he has demonstrated that as a student, he takes upon him not only the task of doing a job, studying, and being a father simultaneously, but he also demonstrated that he is there for his fellow students, that he knows how to find a win-win situation in every complex situation that the COVID crisis has thrown at us every time and again. And at the same time, he has embarked on great projects. Next to his work and his studies, he invested time in planting trees at the Kaikatio school because he believes that the future of his daughter is in the sustainability actions that he does now. He also participated in the Fly ABC program, a new innovative study program in which, on a kingdom scale, students were involved in developing electric flying solutions, and his team won that competition. He's a great student, we are very proud of him, and we hope that he can be an example for future generations of system students.
Wow, fantastic. And John, they're all dads on the stage.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Aren't we blessed as a university?
This is a new, because normally we talk about mothers, 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 and girls, 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 and the fact that we have 3 gentlemen up here, all fathers, well, 3 plus me, 4 gentlemen, all as fathers, again, say something special about how this university is progressing.
Yes, thank you. We really appreciate you. From the Office of International Affairs, we have Elida Alteaga. Elida Alteaga is a marketing student from the Faculty of Accounting and Finance, and she's always willing to help the Office of International Affairs and international students whenever needed. She goes above and beyond on what is expected of her. She is an exemplary student who has worked on the side and makes time for extracurricular activities. Thank you so much.
At this time, I'd like to call Andrew Brauer to the stage. Andrew is actually in system, but he's been nominated from the time when he was an AFI. So Andrew is a dynamic student that was part of the AFI program from 2019 to 2020, who successfully completed that program and moved on to study within system. During the time at AFI, Andrew was always active and ready to go the extra mile. We are very proud of the student, and he is very happy to be, and we're very happy that he's going to be given this award. Andrew is one of the motors for creating a greener University of Aruba. And at present, he and others are developing a sustainable garden at the University of Aruba. So congratulations, Andrew.
Yes, very special to us.
And for the rest of the system group who are doing, and AFI group who are doing this sustainable garden. Congratulations.
We continue with Genesis to Laza Solano from the Social Work and Development Program. We are proud to call Genesis our Student Ambassador of 2020. She has grown to become an amazing asset to the social work community in all she has done so far for the program, community, and her future profession. When we ask who is Genesis, well, the response is Genesis is always willing to give a helping hand. She's committed and dedicated student, and there is not one moment where she doesn't give her 100%. As student assistant, she worked well for the program and showed respect and dedication to this function. She applies her skills, the benefits, and better in her work and helping others. She always, again, as we said, goes the extra mile. We cannot forget that she's also part of her service club, Circle K. We will continue mentioning all the amazing qualities she has, but her actions will always resonate beyond the words that we use. So the Faculty of Arts and Science is very proud of you, and thank you for your contribution.
Last, but certainly not least, I'd like to call up Stephanie Richardson to the stage. Stephanie has been nominated by the Office of Student Affairs, and Stephanie can be described by using the following quote: "Excellence is to do a common thing in an uncommon way." Stephanie has been the student assistant of the marketing department since the academic year of 2019. The position is usually part-time and entails a university student working on campus to gain on-the-job experience. From day one, it was very clear that Stephanie is not only a dedicated student, but also a student with high work ethics, such as attitude, character, communication, cooperation, and organizational skills. Stephanie is a student that has the ability to be creative and flexible in the face of new situations. She has also learned to master the art of storytelling and keeping students engaged and yet grounded. Thank you, Stephanie, for your astounding contribution to the marketing team and to all the work you did with OSA. Congratulations.
Thank you to the awards committee for this honor. Combining work and my full-time studies, especially during a pandemic, has not been easy, and I'm incredibly touched that my dedication is being recognized today. It is by valuing education throughout our lives that I believe that we can grow and become the best version of ourselves. Although I'm incredibly driven, it isn't about winning awards for me. It's about facing challenges, meeting them, exceeding my own expectations especially. I hope that this award inspires somebody else to reach their goals and achieve more than they thought they were capable of.
Thank you so much. And now a round of applause for all our awardees.
This draws to an end the first part of this wonderful evening of celebrations. And our congratulations go out to all our Student Ambassador Award winners. And if you'd like to give them a big round of applause as they leave the stage to exit for a refreshment.
Thank you, Dean Wardlaw, for the encouraging words to our students of the University of Aruba and alumni. Let me say that the aim of the Student Awards is to encourage our students to develop professionally and personally. It's not only about the knowledge, it's about the skills as well. That is very important for the development of a professional. My name is Miriam Arias. I'm an alumni and proudly a lecturer at the Faculty of Arts and Science and Organization, Governance and Management program. Let us continue with the Thesis Award, which is an excellence award supported by our business community of Aruba every year, thankfully. Students or alumni that graduated between August 2019 and October 2020 with a thesis awarded with more than 8.5, which is a higher grade, which is, you could say, a 9, could potentially be nominated for this award. Of course, some factors involved, like originality, quality of the research, and wording of the thesis. Congratulations to our thesis awardees that will present their thesis shortly. And of course, more information could be found on our website, www.ua.aw. We could not continue without thanking our business community for supporting this thesis award. A special thank you goes out to RBC Bank, Van Epskuneman Van Doorn, Satar and Vane, and of course, the University of Aruba.
So officially, I'd like to welcome you all to the second part of the evening, where we'll do the Student Thesis Awards. And I'd like to welcome our VIPs from their respective companies. So from RBC, going back, Van Epskuneman Van Doorn, and I apologize for my Dutch destroying your language. but as to Van Epps, Kuhneman, and Van Loon, to say that, and of course the University of Aruba, who sponsored some of our students today. Writing a thesis is very stressful. And then, as you all know, preparing an oral defense, all of that can be even more painful. Ready or not, at some point, one of your advisors would say, okay, you've written enough, it's time to go, it's time to present your thesis. And tonight, we're proud to invite our best student Thesis Awards to the stage. Each alumni, because all have graduated since presenting their thesis, will give a short presentation. This will follow presentation, then of an award given by one of the sponsors. The sequence will be first the Faculty of Hospitality and Tourism Management Studies, fast OGM, fast social work, and then bringing up, last but certainly not least, your founding faculty, the Faculty of Law. So at this particular point, I would like to call on the representative of the Faculty of Hospitality and Tourism Management Studies to the stage, Sophie. And I did not introduce myself. I'm John Wardlaw. I happen to be the Dean of the Faculty of Hospitality and Management Studies. So it's going to be my pleasure to introduce Sophie. Perhaps if you'd like to come to the stage. I'm not going to say a lot about Sophie's thesis, because I'm sure she'd say a lot about it. However, the title was Determining the Job Attribute Preferences of Generation Z in Aruba. And her advisor was Ms. Thais Nero. And the way FHTMS does a thesis, we have a number of people who then grade that thesis. And if you look at the mark out of 100, Sophie Diane Donker achieved the very high score of 98.17 out of 100. It was a thesis, if she delayed handing in for 2 years, would have been okay for her MBA. And when I say thesis, I really mean a tome, because it wasn't this, it wasn't this, it was this. So without further ado, so the floor, the stage is all yours.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sophie, as Mr. Ward likes me. And today I'm going to be talking a bit about my thesis, which is titled Determining the Job Attribute Preferences of Generation Z in Aruba. The main focus of my thesis was on Generation Z, which is everybody born between 1995 and 2010. And as they make their way into the workforce, as myself last year, I started to think about what it is that I'm looking for in a job, or that I'm after when I'm going to apply for a job. And this is also what sparked my interest in the job attribute preferences, which are characteristics of a job that a person looks for. After having done some research on Generation Z, and specifically here in Aruba, I came to realize that there is actually no data on Generation Z, or little data, and especially about the job attribute preferences, or what they are looking for in a job. This is why I also went a bit deeper on this topic as well. Besides my personal experience, brainstorming about what I was going to do on my next step, and also because my parents both have their own business, and I started to think about what they are going to do when they have to hire other employees, and how they are going to do so successfully, but also retain them. So I started focusing on Generation Z, their job attribute preferences, and I went deeper into differences, whether there are significant differences when comparing Gen Zers based on their gender, level of education, and also their employment status. To tie this into a bit more to the real world, I wanted to look at also their intention of accepting a job, and measure this, the relation to the job attribute preferences that are offered by a job. This was explained in my thesis by the theory of planned behavior, which basically assumes that your intention, your behavioral intention precedes your behavior, the act of what you are going to do. So I came up with 5 research questions. The first general being the job attribute preferences of Gen Zers and determining this, and also the 4 sub-questions which are based on the gender, the differences, finding out if there are differences between gender, level of education and employment status, and also what the relationship is between the variables job attribute preferences and job acceptance intention. For my research, I went into an exploratory sequential mixed method research approach. First, I conducted a few interviews, and the reason herefor was basically to explore whether there are any job characteristics that Gen Zers specifically in Aruba look for that might not be present, or the job characteristics might not be already present in past studies that I would have used for my questionnaire. So I went ahead, did some research with the interviews here in Aruba. I conducted 20 interviews, and these led to 8 additional job attributes that did not come up in past studies, and then I added these to a past study related to job attribute preferences. This led to a questionnaire that was formed, and I was filled in by 635 students, or Gen Zers within the age range. And the results, using descriptive statistics and also inferential analysis techniques such as independent sample t-test and one-way between groups ANOVA, I was able to test the 4 hypotheses that I formulated, which I will explain a bit more about. But from the results, they were presented with 39 job attributes, of which most of them were, at least to some degree, important to the majority of the participants. But the 5 that had the highest mean score were related to having a good salary, having advancement opportunities, having the ability to balance your work and your personal life, having job security definitely, and also having a job that you personally find interesting. Within the questionnaire, they were also asked to indicate their top 5. So they had to choose from the 39 job attributes, which makes it puts it into another perspective for them, because not always you're going to get everything that you want in a job. So this also gives them the time to think about what they would choose. And you see that there are some similar, such as having a good salary, but they also place a lot of importance in the top 5 on having a job that you enjoy and love, having benefits that meet your personal needs, having balance once again within your personal and work life, and also having a sense of accomplishment from your work. Then I meant also the the acceptance intention was measured. And here, once again, the majority of them did intend to accept a job with the 39 job attributes. For the inferential analysis, all the hypotheses in my thesis were accepted. So this indicating that there are indeed differences when it comes to their preferences when comparing Gen Zers based on their gender, their level of education, and also their employment status. And there is indeed a significant positive relationship between the variables job acceptance intention and job attribute preferences. So when a job offers them more of what they find important, their intention is also to accept this job more likely. So to conclude, my thesis basically created a profile for Gen Zers in a way that explains what they are after when it comes to now slowly as they make their way into the workforce. And this being that they are not only looking for a good salary or a balance within their personal and work life, but they also want advancement opportunities, having job security, and also doing work that they personally find interesting. Nonetheless, there are differences, gender and level of education and employment status bring these forward. And all of this, what could it be of any value? And this is where I believe that, especially within the tourism industry, which is a very labor-intensive industry, you do not only need to attract the right people, but also you have to be able to retain them. And with this information, HR professionals can craft job offers that are suited for Gen Zers, and also they know then that they can distinguish between the job offers that they offer Gen Zers based on their gender, their level of education and employment status, to be able to successfully attract and retain the adequate employees that they need. Well, thank you for your attention, and thank you for being here tonight as well.
So Sophie, thank you very much for your tremendous presentation. I was a little concerned of how you squeezed 360 pages into a 5-minute abstract, but you managed to basically maintain your 5-minute schedule-ish. And congratulations. So it now gives me the pleasure to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Science to the stage. So Mika, if you'd like to come forward, please.
Good afternoon. As the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Science, we have 4 programs. We have the programs of Social Work and Development, the program of Organization, Governance and Management, the MAP program, and also the System program. I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Science, and I have the honor to announce the Thesis Award of Student Social Work and Development.
My name is Kayla Rader. I am a alumni of the Social Work and Development program, and my bachelor thesis is titled The Role of Family Support in the Reintegration of Patients at Respaldo. I would like to thank first my research coach, Clementia Eugene, for her continuous support and encouragement, as well as my family members, friends, and everyone who supported me throughout my thesis journey. And a special thank you to Respaldo, who also gave me the opportunity to do my internship and also to conduct my research there. Thank you so much. The title of my thesis is titled The Role of Family Support for the Reintegration of Patients at Respaldo. My research focused on the role of family support in the reintegration of families of Respaldo FAC patients. It is no secret that families play an important role throughout the lifespan of every individual, and in mental health care, this is no exception. Since the deinstitutionalization of psychiatric hospitals, the role of family support has become imperative in the rehabilitation of persons with a mental health disorder, as they are required to learn how to effectively cope with the symptoms and negative consequences of mental illness. Through my research, I was able to delve into the quantitative and qualitative aspects of how family members experience having a loved one with a mental health disorder. Some of the things that family members shared was that they had troubles communicating, difficulty communicating, emotional problems, sleeping problems, to name a few. Having a mental health disorder is not easy, and a mental health disorder affects 1 in 5 persons around the world. The unexpected COVID wave provided a glimpse into the importance more than ever for healthcare professionals to provide the resources, tools, and important resources for people who have mental health disorders, as well as their family members. The majority of the respondents reported to be utilizing positive coping strategies and positive thinking, accepting mental health and mental illness of the patient, while negative coping strategies were also seldom used. The purpose of my research was not only to acquire data, but also to provide a recommendation for Respaldo. To this, I was able to provide a recommendation for a family support group to bridge the gap between family involvement and successful reintegration of patients in the community. Although this research cannot be generalized for the general public, it provides a foundation for future research on the topic of mental health, as well as family involvement of psychiatric and mental health care professionals.
To Kayla, the mother of Kayla is here because Kayla is in the Netherlands. The Faculty of Arts and Science and Social Work program is proud to offer her this award. The research is not an easy thing to do, but she has demonstrated that research and social work are essential elements, are needed, and definitely connecting factors in enhancing the field. She has delivered a quality work on the topic of reintegration of patients at Respaldo, under the guidance of her research coach, which is Clementia Eugene. Her thesis is graded with an 8, and we are proud to hand this award, even while she's in the Netherlands, as proof of not only what she achieves, but what she continued pursuing in her further studies. Bien, we wish you a lot of success at your pre-master Clinical Child, Families and Education Studies at Utrecht University. We hand over this award to your proud mother and request her to come back, not only for her mother and her family, but after obtaining her master's degree, Aruba needs your talents and expertise on the path to recovery of COVID. Thank you. Good evening, I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Science, and I'd like to announce the Thesis Award for the Program of Organization, Government Management, which go to Jorginho Cruz. Jorginho, please. Jorginho, the Faculty of Arts and Science and the Program of Organization, Government Management is proud to offer you the RBC SETA Award 2020 for the best OGM thesis. Jorginho was always a very dedicated, well-mannered, hardworking student. Jorginho showed throughout his study years and thesis much discipline. He's a student and that will get his feedback and work with it is stated. Okay, Jorginho is a quiet person, and but when you give your opinion in class, this is well thought out. And through his thesis, Jorginho has shown his skills of interpreting theory and putting this into practice. This is what makes his title, his thesis with the title, A Quantitative Research on Leadership Style and Good Governance in the Public Sector of Aruba, a special one. And Jorginho showed resilience. Throughout the breakout of the COVID-19 pandemic, he kept on working hard on his thesis and managed to graduate exceptionally with a well-deserved 9. Jorginho is our 45th OGM graduate. Jorginho, you're very special and we are very proud of you. Aruba needs your knowledge, expertise, and attitude. You are a very promising alumni, currently gaining work experience again, but we recommend you that you definitely continue with your studies with a master's degree. Pas bien.
Good evening. My name is Jorginho Cruz. I graduated from the Faculty of Arts and Science in the Program of Organization, Governance, and Management. Today, I'll be giving a short recap, or as we'd like to say in a cart, the analysis and the results of my thesis. The title of my thesis was A Quantitative Research on Leadership Style and Good Governance in the Public Sector of Aruba. At the beginning, the aim of the study was to look at the influence of applied leadership style and their relationship on good governance, to look at the role of leaders in the public sector of Aruba in the matter of applying sustainable public management. Through this process, a main research question was constructed, which was, to what extent is there a relationship between applied leadership styles and good governance principles within public organizations in Aruba? And is there a gap between the applied leadership style within these organizations and the one needed to improve the overall level of good governance? I'm going into specifics. I'll only highlight part of my research because I think given the time, it's not sufficient given the nature of a quantitative research to highlight every moment. So I developed a theoretical framework which identified 4 leadership styles, which was the transactional, the transformational, the servant, and the laissez-faire leadership style. And I was looking at how this leadership style has a relationship on good governance principle, which these principles derive from doing an extensive literature review, came up with 7 principles, which was performance, transparency, accountability, participation, leadership, fairness and equity, and consensus orientation. And I was looking at if this relationship was negative, positive, or in fact, there was no relationship at all. I'm going to move on to the research design and methodology. In total, there were 10 public organizations asked to participate in this research, where I achieved a total amount of 70 civil servants who filled out the questionnaire. As I mentioned before, this research was done through literature review, where a theoretical framework was conducted to begin answering the main research question. Through a 5-point Likert scale, the questionnaires or the respondents had to answer different questions that aim to help me answer the main research question. True analysis was done through IBM and also a Spearman role correlation test to measure the relationship between leadership styles and good governance principles. The data results show that I believe is the most important is that the respondents perceive that performance, accountability, and participation are the most applied principles in public organizations, where this suggests that in the role of leaders in public organizations, performance, accountability, participation are the most applied principles of good governance in the public sector of Aruba. Moving on, the respondents perceive that from the 4 different leadership styles, transformational leadership style had the most strongest influence on good governance. That would suggest that a leader in the public sector of Aruba who applies a transformational leadership style has the highest probability of applying good governance within their organization. Moving on to determining the gap within the applying of the leadership styles and good governance principles, the respondents perceive that although currently in the public organizations of Aruba, most leaders apply the transformational leadership style, there still exists a gap between the transformational leader and the good governance principles being applied. And that gap can be further analyzed with more research to answer that there are still some factors that the respondents believe that not all good governance principles are scored the highest. The most 3 that are scored were at a moderate level. That means there are still some work to be done by the transformational leader on applying all the good governance principles on a higher level. In short, I tested 4 hypotheses. The first hypothesis was to look at if the transactional leadership style and the good governance principles had a relationship. In fact, there was indeed a relationship between transactional leadership style and good governance. The second being is that I analyzed if there was a positive relationship between transformational leadership style and good governance. And in fact, that most respondents perceive that indeed this hypothesis to be true, that there is a positive relationship between transformational leadership and good governance. The third being that there was no relationship between servant leadership style, which is a more modern style of leadership, that there was no relationship at all. But indeed, from my data collected, it proved that there was indeed a relationship between this style. And the fourth, as a control, that there was no negative relationship between the laissez-faire leadership style and good governance, that there was indeed that laissez-faire leaders who practice a more laid-back leadership style had indeed a negative relationship applying good governance in the public sector. So in short, given all this data and the information that I've acquired, I can say that leadership style does have a strong positive correlation with good governance principle, and that to conclude that there is the fact that transformational leadership styles is the most applied in the public sector in Aruba. Although it's the most applied leadership style, it still lacks in the application of good governance on the areas of performance, accountability, and participation. So what I would like to recommend is that further research look at things that I found reoccurring while I was conducting my research was the term of nepotism and other factors that are structured in the current public organizations that play a role in the application of good governance. And I thank you for listening. And I want to also congratulate all the other students here tonight that have received an award for their thesis.
And I want to invite Ms. Farah Hardeveld from the RBC Royal Bank of Aruba and Mrs. Kimberly Boekhout from CETAR, because the OGM Award is the RBC CETA Award. So we're very happy for that.
Nós estamos hope proud de que nós para experienciar isso aqui, mas danke. Nós estamos hope honored de por dona sponsor aqui por ano. Eta contribuir não somente na abo, pero na full Aruba para o desarrollo que está tomando lugar agora. So, mas para bem de parte em geval de RBC para logro aqui e seguir adiante.
De parte de CETA também nos quero felicitar, mas também com o logro e bonita tesis. E nós esperamos que o futuro está grande para mas também.
De rechtenfaculteit is van oudsher een Nederlandstalige opleiding. En daarom zal ik dan ook deze avond continueren in de Nederlandse taal. Nou, dames en heren, studenten en docenten en sponsors, goedenavond en van harte welkom op de Universiteit van Aruba in deze iets wat andere setting dan voorgaande jaren. Het is mij een eer en genoegen om de winnaar bekend te maken van de Van Epps Kunneman van Doorn scriptieprijsvraag. Of prijsvraag, ja, toch kan ik het zo noemen eigenlijk. En dat is de jaarlijkse prijs die wordt uitgereikt aan de faculteit de rechtsgeleerdheid van de Universiteit van Aruba. De jury bestaat dit jaar uit mijn collega mevrouw Brechtje Huiskes. Zij is docent staats- en bestuursrecht. Meerte Franke, verbonden als advocaat aan het advocatenkantoor van Epps Kunneman van Doornen. Tom Peters, eveneens advocaat en partner bij het zelfgenaamde kantoor. En mijzelf als wetenschappelijk hoofdmedewerker straf- en strafprocesrecht van de Universiteit van Aruba. Nou, voor het collegejaar 2019-2020 is alweer enige tijd geleden, zoals u heeft kunnen opmerken, zijn er weer 4 scripties genomineerd. En die zijn allen met een 8 of hoger gewaardeerd en kwamen daarom in aanmerking voor deelname aan de scriptieprijsvraag. En dat zijn dit jaar 4 scripties, waarvan er maar liefst 3 op het terrein van het strafrecht liggen. En dat stemt mijzelf eigenlijk best heel vrouwelijk. Ik zal ze even bekendmaken. Dat is Petra Smit. Een scriptie over de overlap bij toepassing van de voorwaardelijke invrijheidstelling op een voorwaardelijke veroordeling in het Arubaanse strafrecht. De tweede scriptie, die met een strafrechtelijk karakter is, die van Kati Hernandez over het sanctierecht en wel over de tenuitvoerlegging van de levenslange gevangenisstraf. En derde kandidaat genomineerde is Gary Cruz. Dat gaat eigenlijk over de heimelijk onderzoek in een geautomatiseerd werk en de strafvordelijke aspecten daaraan. En dan de enige niet-strafrechtelijke scriptie is geschreven door de genomineerde Wouter Roelens, de Arubaanse arbeidsmarkt getoetst. Nou, ik noem ze alle 4 eventjes, omdat ook dit jaar is de jury van oordeel dat het geen gemakkelijke keuze is geweest om te beoordelen wie van deze 4 scripties nou de prijs zou gaan winnen. Alle 4 de scripties scoren heel goed op zowel originaliteit, analyse, structuur als de juridische schrijfvaardigheid. Maar de jury heeft toch een keuze moeten maken en de Van Epps Kunneman van Doorn scriptieprijsvraag 2019-2020 gaat dit jaar naar Kati Hernandez. En haar scriptie is getiteld, artikel 3 EVRM, The Right of Hope, de tenuitvoerlegging van de levenslange gevangenisstraf in Nederland en Aruba tot elkaar bezien in het licht van artikel 3 EVRM, geschreven bij haar begeleider, ikzelf. Kom graag naar voren.
Dankjewel Ruth en goedenavond iedereen. Om te beginnen wil ik eerst mijn collega's die ook genomineerd zijn voor deze prijs feliciteren. En ook aan Van Epps, Kunneman en Van Doornen. Dankjewel voor de benoeming. Oké, mijn scriptie zoals Ruth al heeft naar voren gebracht had als titel Artikel 3, de right of hope, de tenuitvoerlegging van de levenslange gevangenisstraf in Nederland en Aruba, tot elkaar bezien in het licht van artikel 3 van het Europese Verdrag voor de Rechten van de Mens. In mijn scriptie stond de volgende vraag centraal. Biedt de Arubaanse of de Nederlandse benadering van de levenslange gevangenisstraf de beste waarborg in het licht van artikel 3 EVRM? Artikel 3 EVRM behelst het verbod op foltering of onmenselijke of vernederende behandeling of bestraffing. Om een antwoord op deze vraag te kunnen komen, ben ik eerst nagegaan aan welke eisen moet een verdragsluitende staat voldoen bij de tenuitvoerlegging van de levenslange gevangenisstraf. Uit de jurisprudentie van het Europees Hof voor de Rechten van de Mens ben ik uitgekomen tot 8 punten. Om te beginnen moet de straf de jure en de facto reducible moeten zijn. Er is hiervan sprake als aan de levenslang bestrafte een prospect of release wordt geboden. De levenslang gevangenisstraf heeft een prospect of release als de staat in een mechanisme voorziet die de mogelijkheid maakt zodat de levenslang bestrafte een herbeoordeling kan krijgen. De herbeoordelingsmechanisme kan gerechtelijk of administratief van aard zijn. Daarnaast dient de herbeoordeling uiterlijk 25 jaar na oplegging van de straf plaats te vinden. De herbeoordeling moet worden gebaseerd op objectieve en van vooraf vastgestelde criteria. Het herbeoordelingsmechanisme dient omgeven te zijn door procedurele waarborgen. Als laatste dient de levenslang bestrafte de mogelijkheid te krijgen om zich te kunnen rehabiliteren. Vervolgens is een onderzoek verricht naar de Arubaanse en de Nederlandse regeling voor de tenuitvoerlegging van de levenslange gevangenisstraf. Uit deze onderzoek is het volgende naar voren gekomen. Nederland kent een administratief herbeoordelingsmechanisme, terwijl Aruba een gerechtelijk herbeoordelingssysteem kent. De herbeoordeling van de straf wordt in Nederland opgestart 27 jaar na oplegging van de levenslange gevangenisstraf en op Aruba is dat 20 jaar na de detentie van de levenslang gestrafte. Voor wat betreft de inhoud van de criteria heeft Nederland een betere invulling hierop gegeven dan Aruba. Echter valt op te merken dat in beide regelingen punten zijn die niet objectief van aard zijn. De rehabilitatiemogelijkheden zijn in Nederland aanwezig, maar wat ter discussie staat is of de minister niet te veel macht heeft in de procedure. Op Aruba, aan de andere kant, staat ter discussie of er wel voldoende mogelijkheden worden geboden aan de levenslang gestraften om zich te kunnen rehabiliteren. Al bij al ben ik tot de conclusie gekomen dat beide systemen op een eigen manier niet voldoen aan alle vereisten van het EHRM. Op papier is er wel een prospect of release, maar in werkelijkheid blijkt dat heel anders te zijn, waardoor een combinatie van beide systemen in mijn inziens een betere oplossing zou bieden. Dank u wel allemaal voor jullie aandacht.
Mag ik beginnen? Ja. Bedankt. Mijn naam is Meerte Franke. Ik ben advocaat bij Van Epskunneman van Doornen. En dit is mijn collega, Michiel Versiera. De scriptie van Katy Hernandez heeft dit jaar de scriptieprijs gewonnen, omdat hij ten opzichte van de andere scripties qua validiteit, bruikbaarheid en onafhankelijkheid eruit sprong. Zo is er niet slechts gekeken naar literatuur en handboeken, maar ook naar diverse rapporten, waardoor een directe relatie tussen de theorie en de praktijk tot stand is gebracht. Het gebruik van een groot aantal kwalitatieve bronnen draagt bij aan de betrouwbaarheid van het scriptieonderzoek en aldus wordt ook de onafhankelijkheid van het onderzoek gewaarborgd. Dit zijn twee belangrijke pijlers bij het doen van onderzoek. De conclusie van deze winnende scriptie geeft duidelijk omschreven handvatten om de bestaande Arubaanse praktijk zodanig om te vormen dat deze in overeenstemming komt met het EVRM. Dat maakt dit scriptieonderzoek ook zo bruikbaar voor de praktijk. En last but not least, deze scriptie is ook logisch en helder opgebouwd en is in een prettige en leesbare schrijfstijl geschreven. Al met al een terechte winnaar. Van harte gefeliciteerd, Katy. Masha bien.
On behalf of the University of Aruba, we thank you all for tuning in, and for those who are physically present for being here. This night would not have been successful without the contribution of our business community, and for all those who are present. And at this particular point in time, I'd also like to thank all our thesis advisors, because as the students thought their job was difficult, sometimes it's equally difficult for the thesis advisor to ensure that you are continued on this nice road to success. So I'd like to do a special thank you to the RBC Royal Bank, to Van Epps, Kuhneman and Van Doorn, to CETA, and for all those who have made this night hopefully a very special occasion for these well-deserved Thesis Award winners. We congratulate our students and now alumni for their very hard work and their amazing achievements, because on stage we have three very, very talented young ladies and gentlemen. So when you talk about an A for a thesis, that is something that is, to me, something out in the stars. We are very proud of each and every one of you for the extraordinary work you did in a very difficult time, because a thesis is not an easy task anyway. A thesis during COVID has some extra pressure placed upon the students to get the information that they would need. So an even bigger welcome and congratulations to the students for successfully completing their thesis, but doing it during COVID. Big congratulations. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the Rector, the Deans of each of the faculties, we'd like to congratulate our award winners, and again, a very special thanks to our community sponsors to make this event such a very special occasion for our students. So congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, and this brings to close the second part of the Student Ambassador and Thesis Awards night. Thank you for your attention. Have a pleasant evening. Congratulations.